Hi, I'm Todd from Lowbrow Customs. Today we're going to show you how easy it is to install our 39mm fork shrouds on this 2006 Sportster. Go ahead and get started. Okay, first thing you want to do is remove the fender. On a lot of the Sportster models, you can't get the tire off with the fender in place because it will hit the four nuts that are attaching it. I like to use an air tool for removal. Not so great for installation, but we'll go ahead and get this fender popped off of here. And we're not going to be reusing the fender, so we'll set that aside for now. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and remove the caliper. These are metric. Takes a 12.10 millimeter for the two caliper fasteners. Comes right off, pretty easy. Alright, we're going to go ahead and remove the caliper. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and hang this off the bike somewhere so that it's not dangling by the brake line. There we go, that should work. Now we'll also keep it out of the way while we do the rest of the job here. Okay, fender's off, caliper's off. We'll go ahead and loosen the axle. Alright, we're going to go ahead and loosen the pinch bolt on the right hand side for the axle removal. I got my trusty rubber hammer. Okay, go ahead and remove the axle. Take your wheel out of the way. Okay, now we're going to need a T45 Torx, and we're going to loosen these two pinch bolts, top and bottom. It's a good idea. I'm going to go ahead and do the top one first. Now, if you don't put your hand on that fork, it will fall out when you loosen the bottom one. So, see how easy that is? There we go, ready to put the right side on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and remove both of the pinch bolts because those are going to get replaced. Okay, the kit comes with a hardware pack. The short ones obviously are going to go on the top. So we might as well go ahead and get that one started now. Go ahead and get it tightened down, but don't tighten it fully. Hand tight. Okay. Now the long ones, you can go ahead and you have a flat washer that will go on the outside. That will slide through the tab on there. And then you've got this spacer. So, this is just going to go right here like this. And we're going to leave that loose for right now. And just snug it up. But we want to go ahead and put our fork leg back up in there. We'll tighten the top one and then we'll adjust this. Alright, now that we've got it loosely installed, we've snugged that one down, we can go ahead and put the fork assembly back into the triple trees. Have your ratchet ready. There she goes. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and snug this so it doesn't fall out. And then I'm going to tell you about how there is an installed height specification on this fork tube. It can be found in your service manual. The specification is 0.42 to 0.50. So basically what you're trying to accomplish is you want that to measure from the top of the cap to the top of the triple tree. One of the most important things is they give you a range on that. The important thing is that both fork legs and tubes are set at the exact same height from side to side. And you're going to use the nib if you have one of these. If you don't have this tool, I'm at 0.46 just by eyeballing it, 0.459. That's within the range. That's pretty good. If you don't have a vernier, you can just look at the fork tube and just make sure you can just use a machinist ruler or something else if you don't have this tool here. Not everybody has that tool in their garage. Okay, so now that we've snugged up the top, go ahead and snug the bottom one. Okay, looks good. Now we're going to go ahead and torque the 2 pinch bolts to the factory spec. Simple, right? All we got to do now is do the other side. Back to our T45. Once again. Be sure to support the fork so it doesn't fall out. Bada bing. Okay, go ahead and remove our torque head fasteners to replace them with our socket heads. Okay, same program as before. Top one in there. Washer, spacer. It's easier if you go ahead and start that first so you're not fiddling around with that trying to get it in there while you're holding this up. Once again, we're just going to tighten that by hand until we get our fork leg and lower back in there. We're ready to go back together with this side. Alright, I'm just kind of eyeballing that. And we'll go ahead and snug this up and use our vernier to double check that both sides are equal. Again, on this side we had 45 thousandths. Give or take. There it is. We're at about 43, so we'll go ahead and move that up just a skosh. And there she is, 45. Perfect. Okay, snug that up a little bit more. We're good on that one. Not gonna need it. Again, don't forget to torque these. There you have it. All we have left to do now is put the wheel back on and the brake, Just about done. Okay, spacer goes on the left. Basically the end of the axle on this side sets it. There we go. Okay, we have flat washer, lock washer, and nut. Okay, I found that the best way to make sure the axle is centered is to go ahead and snug this up. Like so. Then we'll go ahead and torque the axle to factory specification here. Then, by simply loosening this again before we torque it, the axle kind of finds its happy home. So again, there is a torque spec on this fastener also. All these specifications can be found in your workshop manual. You do have a workshop manual, right? If not, we do have some available on the website for your purchasing pleasure. All we have left to do is put our caliper back on, which we conveniently left hanging here. Now, it's a good idea not to let your friends help out and pump up your brake while you're working on your bike, or you will have to retract the pads. And also, one other thing worth noting, anytime you remove a caliper from your motorcycle, it is a good idea to pump the lever before you go for a ride. Alright, another thing I always like to do anytime I've had a wheel off a motorcycle and reinstalled it, we'll just get that wheel off the ground, make sure she spins nice and free, make sure our brake's working correctly, which it is, and that's all there is to it.